Hey guys, welcome back to CapView. So today I thought I would do something a little bit different for you guys. I wanted to create my top 5 of Netflix TV shows for this year for you guys. So I was having a look at the trending in Australia because that's where I am, and I wasn't pleased with the results. So I thought that I would make up my list of my top 5 Netflix TV shows. Now this will include obviously Netflix originals and just shows that are on Netflix that are really good. Now I know that this list might not be everybody's cup of tea. These are my personal preferences, and there's definitely so many more than the top 5 I'm going to mention today. There's really good stuff going on Netflix, especially Netflix originals with TV shows as well as films that Netflix produces and drops. But there's just a lot of really great content on Netflix, and I figured, considering a lot of us are stuck at home and we're looking for something to watch, I thought this list might help you guys out. So let's get into it. Alright, so now they're not in any particular order, so this is just randomized top 5. They're not in like from the best to the worst or anything like that. Like, these are just my favorites. So yeah, so I really like all of these shows. These are the ones that I watch the most. These are the ones that I will rewatch, so they have, you know, rewatch ability, and that's pretty much why I've put them in my top 5. Like I said, there's so many more, and I know that some of these ones may not be the most mainstream or popular, and you may not even have heard of them. You may also be a fan of them, so that'd be great. Also, when I say these, if you guys like them or you have seen them and you can like relate and talk to me about it, that'd be awesome. Drop your comments in the comment section below after this is done. So let's get into it, guys. Alright, so number 1. So the first one on my list of the top 5 Netflix TV shows, and again in no particular order. So number 1 is Glow, Gorgeous Ladies of Wrestling. Now this show is coming out on its third and final season, I believe, and it's really great. It stars Alison Brie, Betty Gilpin is in this. I can't remember the dude's name. He's freaking hilarious. I can't remember his name though. But yeah, the cast is really strong. Now this show, as you may have guessed by the title, Gorgeous Ladies of Wrestling, so Glow, this show is basically about a show about women's wrestling. You guessed it. So I know it might not sound like everybody's cup of tea, but bear with me, it gets better. So it's not just the female wrestling. Now I hope you're not picturing like WWE kind of a thing. Like, there's definitely elements of that in there, and it definitely is actually based on women, you know, female wrestlers. So it's very authentic to the source material. However, obviously it is a show about the show, so there's a little bit of like gimmicky kind of stuff in there. There's a little bit of comedy, a lot of comedy actually. It's had me laughing quite a few times. The cast is really strong. There's not only that, but there's such a massive array of talent in this. It's a big talent pool, and I say that because this is very much an ensemble show. So it definitely is a feminist feel show, and it focuses a lot on, you know, female empowerment and women's energy, but a lot of comedy, a lot of real life issues as well. Aside to all of this, there are definitely little mini sort of side character stories played into the whole main plot. And it's just really good. The story is, I really enjoy the story itself. I think, like I said, it's got a very strong cast. There are so many good roles in this that you can, you know, there's so many characters that you can enjoy and like sort of bounce between. It's not the type of show where you have to have just one main lead and you know, that's like, you know, the only character, and it's just the one you focus on. Like, there are so many different characters in this show, and it is very female centric, but when I say feminist, what I mean by that is that it very much focuses on putting male roles in there as well, and strong male roles, but not in like a controlling way. It's an interesting dynamic, especially with I forget his name, but his character name is Sam in the show. Especially with Sam and the ladies, like, it's just very interesting. It's just really interesting how the dynamic works between all of them, and you see the story also and the relationships and connection progress. So I definitely recommend, you know, watching all of them, obviously, all seasons, or both seasons until the third one comes out. But this is another one of those Netflix original binge shows. So I believe there's like 13 episodes or maybe 10 episodes in the first season. So it goes pretty quickly, but it's really good. So my first recommendation is Glow. You guys should check that out. It's hilarious, it's awesome, it's got heart, and definitely on my list. So my second on my top 5 Netflix shows is also a Netflix original. And what I mean by that is it's something that's been a bit different, that's been put onto Netflix and signed through Netflix, and I'm very happy that it has been. Now this one may not be everybody's cup of tea. Now I'm just going to say that before I go ahead, because I'm 31, so I don't know how old I look. I don't know if I look like 50, but I'm 31. So you probably wouldn't imagine that I would enjoy a show about elderly women, but alas, I do. So number 2 on my list is Grace and Frankie. Now this stars Jane Fonda, who I think she's amazing. I've seen quite a few of her films, and she is fucking hilarious in this show. So the 2 main leads are these 2 female elderly women that basically lead the show, and that is Jane Fonda's character, and Lily Tomlin is also in this. Now, Jane Fonda and Lily Tomlin are obviously really good friends in real life. They've obviously been in the industry for a very long time. They've known each other for a very long time. They've worked together in the past, and they are just so in sync on this show. And it's really hilarious if you watch the show actually to see them outside of the show themselves. There are so many little like nuggets of similarities in their actual characters and performance. But anyway, so this show, you guys are like, tell what the show's about. Okay, so the show is about these 2 elderly women who both simultaneously get divorced and left by their husbands because they find out that their husbands are gay and in love with each other. So they both get dumped basically at like, I don't know, 80, 75 or something like that. So they both just are past their midlife. You know, their kids have left and moved out and all that sort of stuff, and they are just left by these men in their lives that they, have given everything to and raised families with, and like, it basically shows, that's how the whole thing starts off. So I'm not giving any like spoilers away, but that's how the trailers, that's what the trailers give you, and that's literally like the first episode and how everything like sort of kicks off. So it starts with these 2 women being dumped basically, and then it shows the life and the progression and how this affects their family, because they both have families. It shows how it affects them as people. It shows the aftermath of how the husbands are affected, and it's not a drama before you like be like, no, why would I want to watch that? So it sounds so dramatic and old people. It's not like that. It's actually super fucking hilarious. It's really modernly written. It's fucking funny. And there are some other cast as well that are not, it's not like there's just old people in the show. There's other cast in there as well. I'm forgetting the names now, but I actually really like the 2 sisters, the actresses that played the sisters of one of the families, and yeah, it's just really good. It's hilarious, and it's honestly one of my favorite shows, which obviously is why it's on my list, but I've seriously watched it like 3 times over, and I believe they're on their 5th season. There's a final season coming out, so I don't want to spoil anything for you, but if you guys like Jane Fonda, or you've seen her films, or you like these comedic, like picture like that old person that's just that says the shit that you think that shouldn't be said, and it's really fucking hilarious. That's what this show is. Like, it's just super great. And Jane Fonda and Lily Tomlin bounce off of each other so well. Their characters are so different in so many ways, but they have this like friendship that forms, and this bond that comes out of everything, and it's just really awesome to see. And like, honestly, I've seriously watched this many times over, so that's on my list for sure, so check it out. Alright, so the 3rd on my list is another Netflix original, which is Santa Clarita Diet. Now, before we get into this is very bittersweet for me to talk about, because unfortunately, and this is something that you're gonna have to know it before going into it. To be fair, most Netflix shows that they drop, they sign them for very short amount of seasons, usually 3, and sadly this show only got 3 seasons and was also left on a cliffhanger. I'm not going to say anything more than that, but I still have a very love-hate relationship with Netflix because of what they did with this show. I feel like they just did it dirty, and I don't know if I will ever forgive them for this shit. But regardless of that, I still think you guys should watch this show. It is too good not to watch. It's so fucking funny. This is definitely a comedy. So Santa Clarita Diet stars Drew Barrymore, Timothy Olyphant. They play a married couple. And there's heaps of like side casts too, like guest roles. Like there's too many to mention. That's really, really good though. And they basically play this married realtor couple, and they are showing a house one day, and the wife like had something to eat and basically becomes super violently ill and essentially dies. Like this is like in the first, like this is immediately. And I'm not going to tell you exactly how it happens because I don't want to spoil it. But again, this is like the gist of the show. So I'm not ruining anything, hopefully. But basically, she pretty much dies and then she comes back to life. So she's an undead. So that's pretty much the premise of this story, and then it shows you how everything unfolds. And it is so fucking hilarious. Like Timothy Olyphant playing her husband and bouncing off of like the crazy shit that happens is just like, it's literally making me laugh now just thinking about like scenes in my head. Like I've watched this show multiple times as well, as all of the shows I've recommended so far, and it's so funny. And of course, you know, Drew Barrymore, I love Drew Barrymore. I don't know how many things I've seen that she's been in. She's obviously really great at comedic roles. She's also really good at the heartfelt stuff too. She's just an awesome actress. And I like Timothy Olyphant too. He's really cool too. And they're just really great together. Like I kind of like didn't picture them together when I initially saw the casting before I started watching anything. Not because they're not great actors individually, but I just couldn't see them as a couple. And honestly, they do a really good job to make it super believable. And you know, this couple like really love each other. Like she loves him, he loves her. So you know, Joel and Sheila, that's their character names. And I think their daughter's name is Abby. But yeah, it's super fucking funny. It's modernly written. Like the script is just like, it's just got these like one-liners that are super hilarious, and then it's also got like actual like elongated scenes that are just non-stop laughter. Like it keeps you on the edge of your seat, you know, story-wise as well, and it also just makes you laugh at the same time. So it's really good, and the guest roles are really great in it as well. The visuals are kind of pretty decent for like a Netflix show. It definitely feels like a Netflix show. So yeah, this is like honestly such a fucking good show. You will be doing yourself a travesty if you do not watch this, regardless of the ending, which I think we can all agree Netflix has just pulled my heart out with it. But it was still just such a good watch. So definitely recommend that one. So Santa Clarita Diet, put on your list guys and check it out. If you like zombie films or undead sort of comedic roles, definitely check this one out. Alright, so number 4 on my list is going to be The Haunting of Your House. Now this is such a good fucking show. I don't know how to explain this show. Like, I know that I can't do justice to the story of this show or the premise of it, but I'll try. So basically, it's called The Haunting of Your House, and it centers and follows this family around and this house where everything sort of like centers, and it's like the nexus of everything. And it basically, like I said, follows this family between past and present, and you see the kids and you see them also grown up, and it basically shows how they had experiences and how they have sort of been affected by these experiences. I'm trying to be really careful with what I say because I really don't want to spoil this. It's so beautifully written. This TV show is written like a fairy tale. Now, if you guys have ever seen like Into the Woods or like, I don't know, Cinderella or like anything that's been like a live action that has been written that way, this is like that. This is just written in such a fantasy fairy tale novel kind of way, and it's just amazing. It like legit blew me away. First of all, based on that, just that alone. Secondly, the cast is really awesome. So the story itself has got like obviously a horror element. I mean, The Haunting of Hill House kind of gives that away. So it's definitely got a supernatural theme and a horror element there. It's not super terrifying though. So I don't know, I'm a horror junkie, so I've seen too much. So to me, this is like low to mid range in terms of the horror, but it's definitely got like those suspense thriller vibes throughout. So it's more like that. And this stars Kate Siegel, Andrea Peretti, I think her name is. I think Elizabeth Risa, is that her name? God, I like this actress so much, and I don't see enough of her work, and I always forget her fucking name, but I think her name is Elizabeth Risa, I hope. Anyway, but yeah, it's got a nice mixed cast of girls and boys in this big giant family that lived in this super creepy mansion house that has been around for a very long time. I think it's called Hill Manor. You think I would know this, but like, I don't. But yes, like I said, it's Haunting of Hill House, and it follows the past and present experiences of these kids and how they have been impacted by the events that happened in this house. It also stars Carla Gugino as the mother. She's amazing. Like, it's just so beautiful. Like, it's such a beautiful show, and I know it's funny like saying that about a horror show, but it really is. It's just so well done. The transitions between past and present are so well done. The integration and mixing and dynamic of these characters as siblings is so well done. The casting is on fucking point. I don't think I've ever seen, or at least for a very long time, I don't think I've seen casting so like accurate, so believable when you see like the kid version and then the adult version, and also like how, you know, what has happened to them. It's on fucking point. There was literally like one character that I didn't see the transition. Like, I was just like, whoa, that's a total like different change from what I expected to see. But it's really, really good. So guys, if you like something that's like, you know, gonna keep you at the edge of your seat, and it's going to really impact you like story wise and make you feel for this family, but it's also kind of gonna scare the shit out of you, and you like that sort of like fairy tale written like film type feel, even though it's a show and it goes for one season, you'll definitely like this. It's honestly, it's amazing. It's so good, and it blew me away. And it's definitely, of all of the shows that I'm listing here, as much as I love them to death, this is probably like the outstanding one. Like, this one just blew me away purely for the writing. Like, it's just too good. It's too good. So definitely check out The Haunting of Hill House. Okay, so we are at number 5. So the 5th one on my list is Dead to Me. Now this show stars Christina Applegate, and she's like the main lead. Like, there are other people in this show, but like James Marsden's in it, but like, who cares about James Marsden? Like, Christina Applegate's in it, and that's all I care about. Now, to be fair, the show doesn't just center around Christina Applegate. It's actually got 2 female roles that are basically the leads, and they bounce off of each other. I don't remember the actress's name. She played Wilma in Scooby-Doo. That's where I know her from, and I've honestly never seen her in anything else. I'm sure she's been in something else, but I've not seen her in anything else. But she's very good in this show. I will give her credit, I give her props. She's very good in this show. There's so much range and dynamic in the performance that's necessary in this show, because it basically follows these 2 women who, how do I say it without like giving away the whole story? Fuck. Okay, so let's start with Christina Applegate's character, because that's where we start off with. So we see Christina Applegate's character. She is in a therapy session, like a group therapy for, I think, like widows or like people like a grief counseling. Is that what it's called? She's in grief counseling, and she's basically lost her husband, and she's just mental. Like, and I don't mean like mental as in like a mental disorder. I mean, she's just fucked. Like, she's just so, it's fucking funny. Like, and I know you guys are like, why are you laughing? If you watch it, you'll know why I'm laughing. She's just so fucked, but in such a hilarious way. Her character is so brutal and savage, and it's just so good to watch. It's so fucking good to watch. She has these like one-liner and this quick wit and this like snake bite, venom shooting, fucking like personality that is now her because of like as a result of basically losing her husband and like being super stressed out and trying to cope with her 2 sons and just everything that she has been left with as a result of her husband being killed. Now on the flip side, we have this other character that is like brought in, introduced into her life, and I can't say anything else about it. Fuck. I can't tell you, but it's really good. It's really fucking funny. And again, the story is this is very suspenseful. It's very comedic, but the main story is a lot of suspense, a lot of twists as well. It's very, very good. It's very good. So Dead to Me, check it out, guys, for sure. Guys, surprise! I know I said 5, but there's another one, so we're gonna do 5 plus 1, so it's gonna be 6 because this is my favorite show, you guys. I can't leave it off. I know it's like not a Netflix show, but it's on Netflix and you can watch it on Netflix, so I must. It is my duty. Now, anyone who knows me and knows I have a gaming channel, obviously I have another channel, I'm a gamer, that's what I do normally, but I obviously love movies. I'm a movie junkie, so I do this channel because I fucking love film and TV. But this is my regular and where I started off basically. Now, as you can see, that says Mr. Kaplan, that's my name on the channel. It's a very good reason for that. And that all basically centers around this show, which is the Blacklist. Now, if you have not heard of this show, I don't know where you've been, as it has been around for a very long time. It's an NBC show that has also been put onto Netflix in the last, I believe, 2 years. But yeah, I believe it's NBC. And this show stars Megan Boone, James Spader, who is amazing, just so fucking funny. He was so good in like Boston Legal, and his performance reminds me of that sort of character, but like in a much darker way, and just so many dark tones. This show is, oh gosh, how do I explain it? So the very basic version of this show is it's an FBI criminal type show, like a cop show kind of. Basically centers around Raymond Reddington, who is one of the FBI's most wanted, and he surrenders himself and he says that he will help the FBI take down all these bad criminals on his blacklist of the worst criminals, way worse than him supposedly, but it's on one condition: he will only speak with Elizabeth Keene, who is played by Megan Boone. So basically the show revolves around, you know, Raymond Reddington and Megan Boone having this relationship, I should say Elizabeth Keene, having this relationship, and it's just, their dynamic is super fun. It's really fun to watch. It's everything, guys. It's everything. I don't know how to explain it. It is dramatic, it is thrilling, it is suspenseful, it is comedic, it is action-packed. There is everything for everybody in here. There are times when it is, you know, political. Like, the way that the show works is, I don't want to say too much, but essentially the way the show works is it goes through, you know, each episode is like a different blacklister. So each episode has a different criminal. Now, these are criminals anywhere from like serial killers to sex traffickers to, you know, terrorists to everything in between. And so it's fascinating because you get to see such a variety of creation through this show, and it's just really well done too. The story is really well done. I don't think I've ever seen an episode and I've been like, that's a bit of a flop. You know how every TV show has that? This doesn't. This show doesn't. In 5 seasons, I've never seen an entire episode. Obviously there are parts and moments here and there like everything else, but I've never seen a singular entire episode where I have been like, nope, never. It's too good, guys. It's too good. James Spader is absolutely amazing in this show. His performance makes the show pretty much. And, you know, his character Raymond Reddington is essentially, you know, on the criminal list. He's this bad mobster kind of guy. He's kind of old school in so many ways. And yeah, he's just hilarious and terrifying at the same time. And I find it really interesting with people that watch this show to know if they're like Team Reddington or like Team Keen, because it sort of like goes back and forth between them. And yeah, their relationship definitely progresses and there's a connection there. And like I said, there's a lot of twists in this show as well. It definitely leaves you wanting more after like every episode. I feel like it's just so good story-wise. So I've ranted about the Blacklist many times. As I've said, if you've watched the show, you will probably understand the Kaplan reference. If not, then you probably won't get it. But that's a nod to the show, to a character in the show, and I've used that as my name because she's just fucking awesome. Too good. So yeah, that's my favorite show pretty much ever. Like, not of all time, but like that is my shiznit. I've watched the Blacklist I don't know how many times over, and now keep in mind there are like 5 seasons and they're long episodes. These aren't like Netflix binge, it's not like a Netflix binge thing. I think there's like 20 episodes in each season, and so yeah, it's extensive and it's very good. It's very good writing. I love that they have so many different, you know, issues, different criminals, different stories, you know, shot in different locations. It makes you feel just everything. So it's an awesome show. It's not just like this cop drama that's super action packed, although you do get lots of that stuff too. Super gruesome kills, super gruesome like story plot lines and characters and bad guys and good guys and explosions and just so much rich material and story there. So definitely check the Blacklist out. Alright guys, I'm done now. I have to stop because if I keep going, we're gonna end up with like top 20. So I'm gonna leave it there. So those are the top 6. So we have Glow, we have Santa Clarita Diet, we have The Haunting of Hill House, we have The Blacklist, and we have Dead to Me. Now I'm starting to forget them. And of course, Grace and Frankie. So those are my top 6, you guys. So I hope that you can put those on your list. I hope you watch them. Most of these are Netflix originals that have dropped and had like sort of binge seasons, or they've got extensive amount of seasons, but they are like, you know, there's like 10 or 13 episodes. You can get through them quite quickly. So there's definitely lots of material here for you guys to watch. I hope you guys enjoyed this top 5+1 list. And let me know if you guys have seen these shows, if these are also your favorite shows, and what you thought of them, and drop it down in the comments. Leave a like, leave a thumbs up if you enjoyed this, and if you haven't subscribed and you're new to this channel, feel free to subscribe and turn on your notifications bell to get updated every time I drop another upload like this. Next I will be doing more likely another film review, possibly a movie commentary. But I just wanted to make this list for you guys so you can have some content to watch while you're stuck at home. So I hope you all stay safe and be well, and I will see you guys soon. Thanks so much for watching.